Well, good morning. Welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Steve, your senior minister, and welcome to spring. Look at the sun is actually shining. I keep saying that till it happens, right? It was only 28 degrees this morning, but it's going to be 50 this afternoon. So a balmy 50, right? Well, we are into March, and my theme for March is luck. Are you lucky? Do you feel lucky? The acronym for luck is L-U-C-K, learning under conscious knowledge. See, in this teaching, we don't believe anything just happens. I mean, there is things that run parallel that we don't see, and all of a sudden it comes into manifestation. We're like, it's a miracle. It took 20 years for that to happen, but it's a miracle. It's where preparation meets opportunity. So we prepare ourselves constantly to be lucky. You know, right before you go into a gambling casino, you know, you're like praying, right? No, come on, right? We do that. Oh God, please, if it just, you know, if I just get those 3 sevens, right? Or whatever it is. And that's fun. As long as you do it for fun, can have the energy of fun. So when you win, it's fun. And if you lose, it's fun. Because you're just playing for fun. But when you are trying to pay the rent that way, you've got to rethink some things. So this week is manifesting your dreams. One of the most important rules of happiness in life is to do what you love. Do what you love to do. And if you're not doing what you love to do, then your day job should be financing doing what you love to do. You know what I'm saying? Now, there was many years that I worked at a job where I did not love what I did. I did it because it was the first job I could get, or it was the first one that said yes to me. And I took it right away, right? I mean, when you're in desperation mode, you grab at what you can. And it wasn't until I realized that I need to do what I love, and I had to make that job into something I loved to do so I could be successful at it. And it's not always easy. When you're working a job that you really don't love, you have to find something within it that you love to do for the love to come through. So I don't care what you do. I mean, if you're cleaning houses or cleaning your own house, do it in such a way, with such a love, that people that come in will go, who cleaned this floor? Right? Right? I've never seen a floor like this before, right? And when you make a mess, as we all do, life can be messy. You want people to look at it and go, who made that mess? It's so beautiful. Only a genius could make a mess like that. We've all done that too, right? So take a long look at the happiest, most successful people on the planet, and they are all doing something they love, creating something they believe in, and living a life of purpose and passion. It's the difference between the carpenter who they ask, what are you doing? And he says, well, I'm taking this pile of bricks and I'm stacking them over there. And they ask the other carpenter, what are you doing? He says, I'm building a cathedral. See the difference in consciousness? We need to build cathedrals in our life. No matter what you're doing, make it building a cathedral, because really that's what your life is. It is your place of worship. This is where you live every day. So everything that comes about through law. There is a way that things work. And when we know the way the law works and we work within those laws, we have a success. And we call it being lucky. When you know how gravity works, You can work within it. And we all had to figure it out because we all didn't come into this world walking or jogging. We all started crawling, right? We all had the same energy of not knowing. But there was that within us that knew that we could do it. We saw other people walking. We were told, we were taking our first little baby steps. Oh, good, yay, right? We had those cheerleaders in our lives. But we all had to figure it out. Now, if you're an artist and you combine two different colors, you'll get a third color. Now, you don't have to be an artist to do that, do you? Anybody, no matter what your race, your sexual orientation, wherever you are in the universe, if you combine two colors, you're going to get a third color. That's a law of how color works. It doesn't ask, are you worthy? Do you know what you're doing by combining these colors? We just know that it works. And the laws of the universe work the same way. There's a law of attraction. Like attracts like. So if you're being grouchy, you're attracting grouchy, and then you wonder why everybody's grouchy. But if you're being loving, even though you feel grouchy, when you go, you know what? I'm going to restart my day, and I'm going to be in love with everything today. You start to attract love into your life. This is how it works. And when we know how the law works, the law of attraction works, you are always attracting exactly what you are. Ouch. Right? You may go, oh yeah, I've got that part down. Or you may go, well, I have some work to do there. We're not always 100% loving. Some mornings are better than others. I'm more of an afternoon person myself. But, work with yourself. Become a morning person. So, we call it luck. And we build up the belief in chance. But what do you do if you don't know what you want to do, be, or have? If you don't know what your dream is? Like I said last week, it's difficult to have a dream come true if you don't have a dream. You need to have something that you're looking forward to being, doing, or having. And maybe that's just having more love in your life. We think it's some grand thing that we're put here to do, Maybe it's just having a little more love in your life. Are you doing that? Are you finding a little more love every day? I'm not better than anybody in this room, but I seek to be better than I was yesterday. I want to be better. I want to be more. I want to love more. Don't we? Don't we seek just to have a little more? This doesn't mean you have to go out and spend more. I used to think that if I spent more, that I would feel more love. I was feeling more debt, and I didn't get it. But that was part of my, if we overindulge in anything, we're going to hit a wall. This is why moderation is the key to spiritualization. So, don't give up. Here's a list of suggestions that will help you discover your dream and start on the road to that dream. There are things that have worked for me, and I hope you'll find something that can work for you. Lucky people generate their own good fortune via 4 basic ideas. Number 1, they are skilled at creating and noticing chance opportunities. Chance opportunities are all around us. But if we aren't aware, if we aren't looking for them, 100 chances for forgiveness float by us every day. And we just look the other way. Now, it may be you start with yourself, at forgiving yourself. Because that's where all knowledge starts. is self-knowledge. You must love yourself if you are going to love this plane of existence. And it is from the loving of ourself that we unfold. It is from our overflow that we give, right? So start to love whatever you're doing and look for the chance opportunities to forgive, to help someone, to help yourself. Look for those opportunities. Number 2, they make lucky decisions by listening to their intuition. Your gut feeling. How many times have we said, I wish I had just listened to my gut feeling. You know, I should have listened to my first thought, but you didn't, and you did something else, and then you talk about it later and you go, you know, I had this feeling and I didn't follow it. That feeling is your connection to spirit. Have you ever lost something and you were so, I see people going, oh, never, not me. But you were so, like, it freaked you out so much that you need to have it back right away, like a set of keys, that you actually forced them away from you. You know, they were probably sitting on the table right in front of you, but you were so freaked out that you couldn't find them, that you couldn't see them. Right? It happens. And if you've ever felt the intuitive sense that something was close to you, you can develop that sense. It's just like a muscle that if you don't use it, it atrophies. What I do, and I would invite you to do this, is send energy to whatever item it is you're looking for, and just go, I know you know where you are, and I want you to hook me up with that energy. I'm serious, it works. Because once you get out of the idea that it's lost, it can then send you its signal. It's like a GPS, and it works. Think about it. Start sending energy and loving it and asking it, where are you? Where are you? So, get in touch with your intuition. Number 3, they create self-fulfilling prophecies via positive expectations. Do you expect the highest and best to happen to you? Or do you expect, yeah, here it goes again. Always happens to me, don't you know it? They went out of their way to get in front of me today, didn't they? I've got to be somewhere at a certain time, and there they are. There they are, going 2 miles an hour. You know, they got their hand up on the seat next to them. They're looking out the window. And you go to change lanes, and so do they. Bless them. Bless those people. The minute you bless them and take your foot off the gas, they will turn and get out of your way. Here's a great affirmation for that. My way has been made clear before me. Think about that. My way has been made clear before me. Say that and watch what happens. Don't say it like, my way has been made clear before me, because that's trying to force it, right? My way has been made clear before me. And then be okay with whatever comes in your way, because it's all part of your experience. See, it's all our perception. Lucky people adopt a resilient attitude that transfers so-called bad luck into good. Something comes your way that is out of left field, and it sends a monkey wrench into the works. And you go, oh my God. Don't we? Don't we freak out? What if we didn't freak out? What if we went, okay, reset. How can I use this to the ultimate advantage of this situation? Maybe there's a blessing in this I'm not seeing. And use it to recreate your experience into a beautiful tapestry of monkey wrenches. What I'm saying is, we can't always change what happens to us. but we can change our energy and attitude of what happens to us by looking at it differently, which actually changes what happens to us. I can't change something in the past. What happened, happened. And there are reasons for that happening. And once I get in line with the universe that everything's happening for reasons, you become part of the solution. If you decide to be part of the problem and part of the monkey wrench, you gum yourself up. You stand on your own air hose and you wonder why you can't breathe. And you take your foot off, and all of a sudden, you're breathing properly. We must see things in a different way to have a different experience. If we don't, we get more of the same that we always had. But sometimes I don't want to change. You ever feel like that? I don't want to do it now. I don't want to. My dad will say, and there you go. How you doing with it? How's that working for you? When he says that. Because he's right. I'm stuck in feeling challenged. And I think that I like it. But I don't. But it's all that I know, so I cling to what I know. And I finally got to the place where the pain of hanging on was less than the pain of letting go. I let go, finally. And I could swim. But it takes the pain of experiencing it to realize I don't want to do that anymore. So here's a couple steps. These are, in addition to those 4 ideas, these are 10 steps that I'll go through quickly. And spend time thinking about your dreams. Number 1, what are your hobbies? What do you love to do? Can you make that into something that can prosper you? And there is a way. You don't love it just because, but you can. Give each of your hobbies some thought and think about whether they're things you love to do and that you'd love to do for a living. Think about it. Is there a way to do what you love to do for a living? And there's always a way. Number 2, what are your talents? It's been said that we each have at least one gift we've been given, and that the true purpose of our lives is discovering that gift and sharing it with the world. What are you good at? What talents do you have that are yours alone? And how can they be developed? Maybe the job that you have is financing your dream, but have a dream. Do your art. Sing your song. Don't die with your music still inside you. That's what Wayne Dyer says. Don't die with your music still inside you. Sing your song. Play your instrument. Find out what rocks your world and do it. Number 3, who do you like to work with? A dream job includes not only what you want to do, but who you want to be with. Make sure that the people around you in whatever you're working on have the same conscious idea that you do. And if you can't, brainwash them. And what I mean is, hold an attitude of love in their arena. Maybe they're always negative. Maybe they're always poo-pooing something that you want. But use that energy to move you into a greater love, to a greater awareness of what you love to do. And the energy of that will begin to radiate in you in such a way, either they will change their attitude or they will be repelled and disappear from your life. This is how energy works. When you start to love people, love has an interesting way of delivering exactly what's needed. And sometimes that means people leave your life. One of my mentors said, everyone blesses your life. some coming in and some leaving. Or he would say to certain people, "Your good is elsewhere, go there quickly." I love that line. Your good is elsewhere, go there quickly. Yeah. So, what environment do you enjoy working in? An office, a classroom, construction site, at the ocean, or in a forest? Where do you feel at one-ment? Feel yourself working there. Enjoy the energy of what you love to do in a place you love to do it. Number 6, when have you been the happiest? Think about the happiest times of your life and what you were doing, who you were doing it with, and where you were doing it. Recreate that energy in some way. Revisit that energy. If just for a couple minutes a day, put yourself into the energy of being at perfect peace. Forget about your challenges. Not to deny them, but don't give them any more energy. This isn't a type of thinking where we just deny that anything bad's happening, it's just not there. No, we use it in a positive way. We ask our challenges, what is your message? What is your gift? Challenge? Get behind me, right? We ask it for its gift, and once we ask it for its gift and it gives us a message, usually we go, I don't want to hear that. But once we act upon it, and when we start to act upon it, if the message has been delivered, the messenger goes away. And it can happen instantaneously. This is how people have miraculous healings from diseases, because once they figure out what is rubbing them the wrong way, and they address the root cause, the messenger goes away. This is how instantaneously healings happen. And it happens all the time. But we have to believe that they can happen, right? You can't be gifted a miracle if you don't believe a miracle can happen. Do you believe in miracles? Absolutely. Absolutely. Number 7 is listen to your top 5 passions. Make a short list of your top 5 passions. If you don't have 5, list as many as you have. And then rank them from top to bottom. And this will be the starting point of your guide to making your dream a reality. Now, what I invite people to do, students, is get one of those long yellow pads and fill the whole thing. The whole pad with everything you want to be, do, and have in your life. You know, after about page 30, you're like repeating things, you're like, well, I want to travel here, I want to travel there. But get it all out of you. Get it out of your mind so it's not a pinball machine of thought. Get it onto the paper where you can work with it and you can deal with it and you can put it in order of priority. What does this do? It's not just a thought. It's something on paper, which is the first step in manifestation. If you have it and it's just a thought that can leave you. If it's something on a piece of paper, it has become something in the material world. Now, the next step in manifestation is to make it a thing, not just a line on a piece of paper. But you must give it a place. Get the top 5 things and just start concentrating on them as being done. And steps will come to you of how to make it happen. All of a sudden, you might be prompted to call somebody. You might get energy about how to do a certain thing. We need to focus our thought. Order is God's highest thought. That's why we put things in order. Once we put them in order, the infinite can work with us. Number 8, create a clear vision. Clarity of vision is the key to achieving your dream once you've discovered what it is. see it as already done. Feel the energy of it completed. A lot of people make treasure maps where they get a big whiteboard and they cut out pictures and phrases and they put it on there, and then they look at it every day to reinforce their feeling of what they want to be, do, and have. And one of the things I invite you to do is put a picture of yourself on your vision board. Because if it's just stuff and you don't see yourself doing it, it's always out there. But a vision board is a good way, just like writing stuff down, that you get to the manifestation process. But we need to carry it to the next step, is what do you feel like now that it's happened? How does it make you feel? Because everything we're trying to be, do, and have in our life, we want to give us a sensation. What is the sensation you're looking for? Can you imagine that sensation is happening right now? It's very important. Number 9, create a roadmap. Once you've clearly pictured your destination, what's left is creating a roadmap in getting to that destination. Imagine how it gets done. Now, you don't have to imagine the details, but imagine that it's coming into fruition. That feeling of manifestation, your dreams becoming reality. Because that's what it's all about. Because what happens when we get a dream manifested? We're on to the next dream. You know, coming into this teaching, I had a whole bunch of pads filled with things that I wanted, right? I mean, I could journal really good. But what I needed to do was envision it and to work with it in a way that I felt completion with it. And once that completion set into my being, things started happening. And I'll tell you, in this teaching, you're going to manifest. That's what we do. We're not just seekers here. We are finders. We are realizers of dreams, not just chasers of dreams. And you're going to start putting lines through all your dreams as being done. History, mystery, what's next? So always have, when something on your top 5 gets realized, cross it off and fill in another. Because you're always going to be manifesting. That's how our mind works. Brainstorm. Sometimes there's more than one road to get to a destination, and brainstorming a bunch of ideas can get us there. Write if you ever done mind mapping, where you take a piece of paper and you put at the center what you are focusing on and circle it. And then everything that comes up about it, write it around it. Everything, and circle it and point it towards the middle. This helps you to process, to get focused on what your dream is. So those are the 10 I came up with. And what I'd like to tell you is that sometimes there are challenges along the way. Sometimes there is stuff that gets in our way. So I have this little story. It's called the Butterfly Story. And it's a little sad, but it gives us energy about what we need to do when we are hit with adversity. Because adversity happens. It's part of the experience of life. It's just that when we get stuck in the adversity, that we don't move through it or learn from it. So the following story describes why challenges and struggles are a part of life. A teacher was teaching his students on how the caterpillar turns into the beautiful butterfly. And he told his students that in the next few hours, the butterfly would struggle to come out of its cocoon, but no one should help it. The teacher left the classroom, leaving his students inside. The students were waiting anxiously until finally the big moment came. The butterfly began to struggle to get out of the cocoon. One of the students took pity and decided to go against the advice of the teacher by assisting the butterfly out of the cocoon. He could not bear to see the butterfly struggle and decided to break open the cocoon. Shortly after, all the students were shocked to see that the butterfly had died. When the teacher returned, he found out what happened, and he explained to the students that by helping the butterfly, they had actually killed it. Because the butterfly needed to struggle to help develop its strength in its wings, pushing all the blood into the right places. Without going through that process, the butterfly wasn't strong enough to live and fly. This story is simple, but it brings across the powerful message that whatever we're going through, we can't do a spiritual bypass. We need to go through it. We need to grow through it. Because what I found is if you think that you've skipped over part of the learning, same song, different verse, a little bit louder, a little bit worse, it comes back. I thought I handled this. I could have sworn I dealt with this last March or whenever. And you go, okay, there's something else for me to learn here. There is more for me here, or it would not be happening. God doesn't make any extra experiences just because. Everything has a reason. And when we can look for the reason and the message within it, that is when the full orb of knowledge has come through. All of a sudden we know why. And we don't go down that road again. Right? So in conclusion, prepare yourself to be lucky and manifest your dream by doing what you love to do. Do what brings your heart gladness. Do it all the time. 2, create and notice chance opportunities and take advantage of them. Don't let them scooch by. Don't go, I wish I had listened to my gut instinct. Act upon it. Go ahead and do that thing in your gut that says, hey, do that. 3, listen and follow your intuition. If you're being guided to something, there's a reason for it. There are no chances. Things don't happen by coincidence. So take advantage of those intuitive energies. Have positive expectations. Expect to be lucky. Expect to succeed. And expect to prosper. You are a child of God. You are part of the human experience as a spiritual being, having a human experience as a spiritual being, or whichever way you want to look at it. Finally, adopt a resilient attitude that transforms so-called bad luck into good. And so it is.